The Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program began in 1992 to pursue and support local actions that will directly benefit communities and address global environmental concerns. Environmental degradation, the pollution of our ecosystems and the species that depend on them, increasing levels of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases, destruction of lands and waters, persistent organic pollutants threaten everyone living in our planet. The Small Grants Program recognizes all these and supports community-based actions by people whose lives depend on the richness of the natural resources around them and the balance of its fragile ecosystems. The Small Grants Program provides grants to local communities for actions towards the realization of sustainable livelihoods and address problems concerning biodiversity protection and conservation, climate change mitigation and adaptation, land degradation and sustainable forest management, international waters, and chemicals. Over the years, the Small Grants Program has progressively evolved as an effective delivery mechanism for sustainable development. The Small Grants Program in the Philippines started as one of the 33 pilot countries in 1992. People-centered and local ecosystem-based, the program has been integrated into the national framework plans and linked to national and local policy formulation and implementation strategies on biodiversity conservation, climate change mitigation and adaptation, protected areas management, ecotourism, and sustainable livelihoods for poor and vulnerable communities. Led by UNDP and the Philippine government through the Biodiversity Management Bureau of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, the Small Grants Program supports communities that host biodiversity and depend on ecosystems for basic human needs such as food, shelter, medicine, and clothing. Proving the effectiveness of local stewardship in protecting large areas, it encourages community enforcement of locally determined regulations and policies and supports capacity building activities for community partners. Now in its fourth phase, the Small Grants Program in the Philippines has supported more than 40 community-based initiatives in 21 provinces, covering diverse concerns, supporting community-based actions and delivering benefits to host communities. The program's thrust for wealth creation through economic and ecology-based empowerment for the poor and vulnerable can be gleaned from 6 sites out of the 41 projects currently implemented. In Palawan, the Mangrove Protection and Conservation and Ecotourism Project was implemented in Sitio Sabang, Barangay Cabayugan in the city of Puerto Princesa. The Mangrove Protection and Conservation Project in Sitio Sabang is led by the local Tour Guide Association and assisted by the Environment and Tourism Offices of the City Government of Puerto Princesa. Taking pride in the healthy and rich first-growth mangrove trees in Sabang along the Poyoy Poyoy River, paddle boat tour guides raise both tourists and local residents' awareness on the biological significance of the mangroves to the entire subterranean river park system. Strengthening the mangrove conservation and ecotourism efforts of the association, the Sabang Project poured in financial benefits for the association and its membership, supporting community mobilization for monitoring of activities that violate protected areas and harm biodiversity, which include deputizing association members as park rangers. Propagating mangrove varieties for biodiversity enhancement, ecological profiling of mangrove species and density to formulate a mangrove ecosystem management plan which will be integrated in the whole management of the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park. To benefit the community, improvement of ecotourism practice by institutionalizing the educational approach in tourism and channeling a percentage of the tourism income to barangay direct services that benefit the poor, providing training activities to build capacities.
Nagkaroon na po kami ng income dahil nga po dito sa grant na ibinigay sa amin, itong boardwalk. So, ginawan po namin ng, nag-usap po yung grupo, ang association, na magkaroon ng budgeting. Magkano po yung sa maintenance. So, sa maintenance ng boardwalk, ilang porsyento po yung maibibigay para sa mga members. At nagkaroon po kami ng PhilHealth at SSS nang dahil po dito. At maliban pa po doon, nakakapag-share po kami sa labas sa komunidad, no, na hindi mga membro.
Dahil nagkaroon po tayo ng project na ganito yung DP, kung nadagdagan po yung kita. Ang dati pinagpapartihan namin ay yung entrance fee lang nasa bangka. So ngayon po, every 3 months, pagpapartihan naman namin yung guide share namin dito sa boardwalk.
Ito po ang aming boardwalk. No? Unang-una po, syempre ang nakinabang is ang member.
Retirement fee at saka tulong doon sa mga nangangailangan sa komunidad.
Na nagkaroon po ng isang grupo, ito na po yung Mangrove Paddle Boat Tour Guide Association, na siya pong nagmi-maintain nitong tour site. Kaya simula po nung mayroon na pong tao dito, hindi na po kami nakakaranas ng mga nangunguha ng mga punong bakawan dito sa area nito.
Sa tingin ko po, ang biodiversity conservation natin, kailangan palagi may ka-partner na livelihood. So hindi maiiwasan na nila yung traditional na pamimintala sa kagubatan.
Oh, come on my darling, in Barangay Kabayugan, we could see and watch on the old unique bakawan. We shall ride on bangka in a wonderful one with the group of my friends and to my dearest one.
The biodiversity conservation and watershed management also implemented in Barangay Kabayugan in Puerto Princesa, but this time by the local Indigenous Peoples Association, Tinig na mga Katutubo sa Kabayugan Incorporated or TICA. TICA promotes sustainable use of local biodiversity resources, assists in creating livelihood and economic opportunities for those in need, and conserves soil and water resources through community-based watershed management. Through stronger community participation, capacity building, and livelihood opportunities for its members, biodiversity and conservation of watershed areas are ensured. Land degradation, particularly in CADC areas, are minimized, contributing to mitigation of climate change, uplifting the quality of life of indigenous families, promoting the effective and sustainable use of watershed resources. In particular, the project with TICA restores and rehabilitates identified biodiversity areas, installs protective mechanisms enforced by the community, and advocates watershed biodiversity conservation and protection with the local officials. Sustainable use of non-timber forest products for livelihood and ecotourism.
Aming gubat ay nasira. Hindi ko sabing hindi nasira kasi talagang bulldozer nandyan. Lahat ng mga sasakyan na pangalaging nandyan eh. Kaya sira. Una, ang apekto katulad sa amin ng mga katutubo, ang hanap buhay namin ay sa gubat. Nandyan ang kasalanan naming halamang gamot. Lahat ng mga kahoy, bagin, ay yantok. Yan ay ginagamit namin sa aming tradisyon na gamot. Pangalawa, yung aming pinagkikitaan, aming anak buhay, nandyan po sa gubat. Pangatlo, katulad nitong aking pagpapaapoy, ito po ay talagang nasa gubat. Lahat na yan ay sa gubat. Natigil yung pagmimina, natigil yung paglalaging. At kami mismo, buong komunidad, ay nagtulak na rin ng mga ano sa barangay at sa iba pang mga panauhin, mga tao ng pamahalaan na kung pwede matulungan kami na mapigilan yung mga ganong mga activity, mga gawain. Bakit? Para naman mapanumbalik yung gubat at yung aming mga pinagkawalian ay patuloy. Natulungan kami dito sa pagsasagawa ng pagtatanim at nagsagawa kami ng pag-nursery, nagkaroon na rin ng mga pagsasanay mula sa DNR at mula rin sa iba't ibang mga NGO. Itong GEF project, itong kumpak ay nakapagpatanim kami ng humigit mula sa 50,000 na puno, iba't ibang puno. So, nandyan po yung nara, nandyan yung ipil, nandyan yung nato, nandyan yung kamagong, nandyan yung tawag sa amin balisangkad, sabi sa Banyaga ay wild rambutan. So, nandyan din po yung bayog na kawayan sa pagpatanim kami. So, ganoon po kaya lubos-lubos po ang aming pasasalamat sa UNDP na bigyan kami ng tulong na ganoon.
In Zambales, the Mount Pinatubo Ancestral Domain Conservation and Sustainable Development Project is implemented through the Technologies and Resources for Ecological Sustainability and nagkakaisang samahang ilaw ng katutubo sa Pinatubo or nagsikap. A federation of 4 indigenous villages in the Mount Pinatubo area in cooperation with the local government and national agencies through community action, plant species in the Mount Pinatubo area, particularly endemic and endangered species, are protected by strengthening community capacity to manage their own resources. Coupled with increasing biodiversity awareness and need for conservation and equipping the community with sustainable farming practices, initiating sustainable livelihood options that protect biodiversity in ancestral domains. To strengthen community-based forest protection within the ancestral domain, forest patrols were trained. Quality planting materials were produced and propagated. Biodiversity was enhanced. An agroforestry farm model was established. Marketing support to maximize community income was provided.
Ito po kasing lugar na to, ito yung tinamaan ng pagsabog ng bulkan. So, nawala halos talaga yung mga dating mga pananim dito nung pagsabog kasi nung natabunan to ng buhangin parang nawala lahat eh. Ngayon nung ito ay nabigay sa mga tao sa ilalim ng programa ng ancestral domain at yun ang panahon na rin na medyo bumabalik na unti-unti. Medyo dun bumungad sa tao yung malaking responsibilidad na ibalik yung nawala.
Nagpapaseminar sila sa amin na tinatawag nila ng mga pamlat na magagawa kami ng mga plat-plat. Doon kami na magtatanim ng mga gulay, mga pichay, radish. Nung tumagal-tagal po, tinuturuan din nila kami na gumawa ng compost na sariling pataba po.
Yung mga kahoy na wild, yun po, tinula namin. Tapos yung 12,000 po, yun ang tinanim namin dyan ngayon sa kabila.
Yung proyekto kasi namin nakatuon sa ancestral domain sustainable management, no, saka development.
Ang mga kultura namin ng mga tribal chieftain, katutubo, kasi mga ginagawa namin magkaroon kami ng pagkakaisa, bubungkalin namin ang lupa at magkaroon kami ng tataniman namin ng mga kung anong halaman dyan, ng mga bihi.
Ang kabuhayan po dito, magtanim ng mga halaman, halimbawa gabi, saging, tapos yung kalakal po, puso ng saging, yun po ang kabuhayan dito.
So nakikita namin dito talaga, sinimula namin, pumipili kami ng mga kabataan na maihahanda natin yung kanilang pag-iisip, yung kanilang puso dun sa lupa.
The Northwest Conservation Project in Panay was implemented in Antique Province to benefit 12 villages of barangays through the Antique Development Foundation. The project addressed the decline of water level in Bugan River brought about by extractive activities in Malumpati watershed, increasing population, poverty, extractive activities, widespread poaching, small-scale logging and kaingin to improve the quality of life of poor people through responsive management of resources and conserve and protect biodiversity and watershed areas. To improve the quality of life of poor communities through responsive management of resources and conserve and protect biodiversity and watershed areas, the project mobilized communities through partnerships with barangay and municipal governments and embarked on public awareness campaigns, including the celebration of Pista Itsuba or Feast of the River, capacity building, river cleanup, policy-based protective actions, capacity building and deputation of Bantay Suba or river guards, Bantay Gubat or forest guards, forest restoration through nursery development and plantation of trees, cultural management trainings, plantation of minor forest products used in handicraft industry, support to livelihood and marketing such as handicrafts and ecotourism, and organizational management and access to financing.
We're there na mag-facilitate, mag-strengthen ng people's organization, mag-help sa mga financial nila. And then of course through the yung talagang nandyan palagi yung local government units na talagang tinatap namin yan sa lahat-lahat ng mga activities namin.
Ang naging positibo po na epekto sa mga komunidad sa project namin is napaaral po yung mga anak sa college, nakapagpatayo na unti-unti ng mga bahay na medyo hindi tulad noon na na light materials. Pangailangan sa araw-araw po, malaki po ang niambag ng proyekto kasi mayroon pong magamit na pambili ng pagkain sa araw-araw po.
Yung sa SGP, livelihood yun para sa mga tao. And then sa tourism, lalo na yung Bugang, with the group of the Bugang Community-Based Ecotourism, parang campaign namin on environmental.
Problema namin dito dati yung mga nag-aalaga ng baboy along the riverbank. Maliban sa mabaho o yung syempre pagka may mga bisita kami dumadaan, hindi maiwasan na talagang magreklamo sila ng mabaho. Tapos yung mga nagtatapon ng basura, then may mga nag-illegal logging din po kasi dati dito. Kaya nga po naisipan namin river cleanup kasi para mapanatili namin na malinis yung river.
Parang na-minimize na rin kahit papakonti pa lang yung mga illegal activities na nangyayari dito sa area ng Panday. Kahit nga kaingin, hindi mo na halos makikita.
May mga nursery kami dito, nag-tree planting po kami sa mga watershed areas para suporta po sa aming kalikasan sa aming ilog.
And then meron kaming mga deputization of Bantay Ilog sa Malumpati Spring dahil diyan nagsa-start yung tour. Parang sila yung eyes and ears, tapos sila yung nagtuturo sa mga tao kung paano pangalagaan yung river. especially on the waste management. Tapos yung pinaka-ano is the watershed area. No? Sila nag-outplant ng mga ITS na propagate namin sa nursery.
In Bohol, the Abatan Watershed Biodiversity Conservation and Management in support to ecotourism covered 5 barangays along the Abatan River. The project proponent, participatory research organization of communities and education towards struggle for self-reliance, and several partner community organizations combined efforts for the protection and conservation of biodiversity in the Abatan watershed. To address the water needs of Bohol province and enhance ecotourism strategies, with the need to replace Kaingin farming system, enforce laws on sand and gravel extraction, and create a watershed management plan. Implemented strategic activities, upland reforestation of indigenous species, forest and fruit trees, agroforestry development, riverbank stabilization, mangrove management, creation of policies and plans of people's organizations consistent with sustainable development, labeling, tagging of mangroves to indicate biodiversity significance, improving ecotourism through the Abatan Community Life Tour, development and professionalization of Abatan River cultural collective performances, production and marketing of souvenir items and organic farm products, trainings, education campaigns and partnership law enforcement, deputation of volunteers and barangay tanods as forest guards, provision of patrol equipment, and integration of the Abatan Tourism Master Plan and Abatan Watershed Management Plan in the comprehensive development plans of the 6 municipalities.
This program is really established to address poverty, no? And I can say that it really is leading towards that, achieving the goal of addressing poverty. Some of our local communities are now providing us local guides, no? They're already very articulate about different kinds of species of mangroves, the fireflies, and they're also providing catering services, no, for the guests, and providing cultural shows, livelihood demo, dance interpretation of a coastal community life. They really lived with it, no, and they really understand that without protecting the environment, they're nothing.
So pagdating ng mga turista mismo doon sa main village center, doon sa Cortez, kami po yung mga tour guides ang tumatanggap nitong mga ating mga guests. Then kami ang magdadala doon sa point of destinations nila. Every municipality may satellite village. Kagaya namin dito sa Maribohok na ang ino-offer namin na show, yung livelihood presentation na may pawibing, gano'n. Parang pang-coastal.
We organize them and we capacitate them, we empower them for them to be aware of the advantages and disadvantages of protecting the environment. Converting their good management on environment into an ecotourism, no, as an alternative livelihood.
Nung nagsimula pa lang, tinutulungan kami ng Process Bohol na mag-undergo ng trainings. Ang first dito ginagawa namin yung sa local tour guiding, yung community-based sustainable tourism. Ando hanggang tinatawag kami doon na sa na hindi lang barangay namin kundi yung iba pa ring barangay kasali ang Maribohok, Antiquera,
Nabigyan kami ng para sa livelihood namin worth of 10,000 at saka itong uniform namin sa collective.
One of the economic drivers of the province of Bohol is tourism. and we're positioning as an ecotourism destination.
Nakakatulong sa mga pamilya nila pagbigay ng kahit kunti pagbigay ng baon at saka yung basic need ng pamilya.
Lahat yun ang nakabenepisyo yung communities. Gusto lang namin makita na na-address talaga yung poverty because of the program.
In Negros Occidental, the project Sustaining Biodiversity Conservation Initiatives in Ilog Hilabangan Watershed Forest Reserve Project covered 2 sites. Ilog Hilabangan Watershed Forest Reserve in Barangay Buena Vista, Himamaylan City, and Barangays Tanawan and Carolan in Kabangkalan City. The project proponent, National Economic Development Foundation, partnered with the 100 Bantay Gubat volunteers to enhance current protection action initiatives for the Ilog Hilabangan Watershed Forest Reserve, which also harbors Philippine endemic birds, globally endangered mammals, and flora. The project conducted training for more than 100 Bantay Gubat volunteers, rehabilitation of denuded forests in watershed areas through reforestation technology, technology transfer on livelihood projects for women, food processing, handicrafts, building awareness on the importance of the Watershed Forest Reserve, permanent markers, stakeholder summit, partnership with local governments, policy advocacy.
Since Ilog Hilabangan Watershed Forest Reserve, there's already an existing co-management council in the level, which is composed of the 2 local government units, the Himamaylan City, Kabangkalan City, the DNR, Senro Kabangkalan, and other stakeholders like the academe, NGOs, and other government agencies.
The threat in the area is so big that it requires participation of all the stakeholders.
The 2 local government units and other government agencies are involved in the conceptualization of the project.
Masaya yung participation namin, not only on the actual implementation but on the planning. Magkano i-spend natin, anong role ng community, anong role ng barangay, anong role ng city.
The vision of the City of Kabangkalan in the Forest Land Use Program is to be an agroforestry and ecotourism center in the south with lush forests developed by an empowered community.
Kami nga mga Bantay Gubat nga 32, ti voluntaryo kami, kulang kami sa mga gamit. Tulad sa magput patrol kami, kay gaput patrol kami sa naskopa namon nga area, mga 3 days ang amon pagput patrol. Kag makapuli sa amon tagsa ka pamilya. Tikinanglanon ginamon ang mga raincoat, flashlight, mga uniform nga tulad sa sini nga ma-identify layo pa sa pumuluyo kag sang ano manda nga mga grupo nga kami mga Bantay Gubat kag komunikasyon kag gamay gid man tani nga suporta pinansyal sa amon.
Construction of the watchtowers and say support services for the Bantay Gubat volunteers, just like when they do foot patrol operations in the area. Of course, they need the logistics. It's so hard for them to carry their supply because they will be patrolling for an average of 3 days. So we saw the need for them to have a horse. No? That's why UNDP was able to provide the purchase of 10 heads of horses for the support to the Bantay Gubat volunteers.
We believe that in order to increase the forest cover, the only way is to plant native.
Lawaan, apito, marami tamagong.
Ari kami sa Ilog Hilabangan Watershed Area, protected, ti kinanglanon namon ibalik ang native. Kay kumpras gimili na maugani kag iban pa nga hindi diri sa ato nga kahoy Yung iba hindi maayo ang iyang resulta. Tulad sa Maugani, Jimilina, hindi makaon sa mga kapispisan ng iban pa nga sapat sa gubat.
Ang laki ng impact, sir, ng grupo nito sa komunidad. Makita nyo, mas gamay ang area na ginakaingin ngayon ikumpara sa unang mga panahon.
We have developed leaders who will do their share, especially in protection and conservation of the remaining forest reserve in the south.
Sa una, medyo nabudlayan gid kami magpaintindi sa pumuluyo. Bangod nga ti ang pumuluyo, medyo ang ilan na intindihan nga magpatay sang kahoy. Hindi naman nila maintindihan nga paano proteksyonan ang kahoy para sa gasolinerisyon.
Gina-counter namin by through pulong-pulong. Ang kuan lang namon, daw moral lang namon kay majority of the people nakuha namon ang ila simpatiya.
Yung partnership daw is not made of institutions, it's more of relationships with people.
Concluding its fourth phase, the Small Grants Program has continued to make it possible for marginalized communities to enjoy the benefits of a rich and vibrant ecosystem through the creation of sources of livelihood that are sustainable and at the same time push us forward to that vision of sustainable development. Commencing its fifth phase, the Small Grants Program continues to invest in stakeholder communities who champion self-reliance and localized wealth creation. Sustainable livelihood and sustainable development can emanate from communities that host biodiversity. With biodiversity benefits seen and felt first and foremost by communities, the Small Grants Program continues to prove itself as an effective delivery mechanism for sustainable development in driving institutional reforms and policy changes, and in helping create sustainable livelihood opportunities for stakeholder communities, while at the same time reaping benefits for global biodiversity.